I knew I had a couple more days before Valentine's.
Yeah, Friday.
All right. Good evening and welcome to the Monday, February 10th, 2025 meeting of the Litchfield Board of Selectmen. The Selectmen have just come out of paperwork session and we'd like to start this meeting off with everyone saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hopefully everybody at home got dug out okay. We got more coming. Hunker down, folks. It's February. We're in the February band. So,
Is it gonna snow this year?
not good. We got plenty of it.
I
All right.
actually saw snowmobile tracks for the first time in years.
Up first, we have a review and approval of consent items. We have an AP manifest for February 4th, 2025 in the amount of $2,301,515.81 and one for February 11th in the amount of $98,454.66. We have a payroll manifest for February 6th, 2025 in the amount of $64,235.14. And for February 13th, 2025 in the amount of $67,063.36. We have the December 2024 Town Clerk Reconciliation. We have communications from January 26th through February 7th, 2025, which is on the town portal. You're welcome to look at them. We have one elderly exemption recertification, and we have 23 veteran credit recertifications. Is there any items that anyone would like discussed or removed, or? Hearing none, we'll take a motion for approval and consent.
So moved.
We have a motion for Mr. Brunel,
I'll second.
second from Ms. Queenan. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 500. Requests for other items or business? Does anybody have anything they want to add to the agenda? Okay. Public input will occur no earlier than 6:45 PM. All right, up on the business tonight, we have approval of the minutes for January 27th, 2025. Everybody have a chance to check them out? Any alterations, amendments? No?
No.
Okay, motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for Mr. Gannon,
Second.
second for Mr. Lynch. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 500. We have the approval of the non-public minutes for January 27th, 2025. Any changes, modifications? No, hearing none. We have a motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion for Mr. Gannon. Not everyone
I'll
jump at
second.
once.
Yeah,
Second for Mr. Lynch.
Stay in the
All those in
loop, Kev.
favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 500. Minutes from February 1st, post-deliberative.
Does post-deliberative or deliberative?
Post-deliberative. We met after deliberative?
Yeah, but I have the one here from deliberative, right? Don't we have a deliberative one?
No,
What's
so
this big one here that's 20-something pages?
that's deliberative,
That's the
so
whole deliberative.
you have a lot of changes to that?
No, I just want some clarifications, that's all. Not a lot of
Okay.
changes.
So the
Printed it from here.
post-deliberative is technically a meeting of the Board of Selectmen. You
After the
need to-
meeting.
Yeah,
Stood
that
there.
little one, yeah.
You need
Yep.
to approve them.
Yeah,
Yep.
I agree.
We had a meeting to
Yep.
change the
Change
vote
your vote, yeah.
for the police station, yep.
I'll make a motion to approve February 1st post-deliberative.
Second.
Damn.
We have a motion from Mr. Gannon and a second from Mr. Brunel. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 500.
Speed it
We
up.
have the deliberative minutes, no action needed. Is that what you
Just for
want?
reference.
I just have a couple of small things to clarify.
Sure.
I just want to make sure we're careful, that's all.
Yep.
Okay.
So I had, this is before the computer went down, I printed something, so page, it's only 5 and 6, I think. Why don't we just do the simple one, let's go to page 6, third paragraph.
Okay.
Where it says Kim Kleiner, how you doing? doing good. Third sentence, intend to establish a zoning board. Can you just, be clear if it's zoning board of adjustment or appeals? I know the answer, but just, if you could just not
The
leave.
zoning board of appeals.
Yeah, well.
all it is.
Yeah, I know, but just for the clarification for people, that's all.
So I
Intend
can't
to establish a
change these.
zoning board.
These are done by the clerk, right?
These are done, approved by the town clerk. I can't make any changes.
We can't make any changes to these? Well, I see some errors in here.
She approves them,
Who's she?
the town clerk.
Who is that?
Terry.
Terry.
Well, what do we do if there's errors in here?
Well,
I can submit them to her and she
How do I just give
can,
her my changes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
she can take them under consideration.
are they
Well,
just
that's
grammar changes
unfortunate.
or?
All right, I would say for anyone at home to watch the deliberative minute 36:20 to 51:53,
Okay.
and they can see there's a couple of errors in here that should be looked at.
Thank you.
Why is that process different?
Because it's deliberative, it's actually a part of the elective.
Okay, that makes
Process.
sense. Yep,
Yeah.
okay, good. All right, so I'll hand her those. Yep.
Yep.
We all
Thank
learned
you.
something new today.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll give
I'm not as uninformed as I was walking through the door.
You're getting better.
We, so we're good there. Up next, we have the Stonyfield 5K Run Permit, April 12th, 2025.
Yes,
What's
so,
that?
this event they have every year. We received it, it's, been approved by fire and highway. Police reached out to them and told them that they wanted a couple of details. They worked that out, so police informed me they approve.
Okay,
So everything is in order,
Perfect.
and we are asking for the board's approval tonight.
yeah, I know they've done this for a while.
Yeah.
And it's a nice little thing they do.
They barely even go through Litchfield, do they? It's only 3 miles, and probably half of
Right.
it is through Litchfield, I guess.
Uses Hillcrest and Rookery Way.
Right.
Yeah, make the loop.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's a little bit further down. Yeah.
That's all they do.
So, okay, yeah, do we have a motion for approval? I don't see any
I'll
problem
make a
with this.
motion, we approve Stonyfield 5K run permit for April 12th, 2005.
We have a motion for Mr. Brunel. We have a second.
Second.
Second from Ms. Queenan. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Say
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Up next, we have utility pole permit from Eversource. Ms. Kleiner, what do we got?
So there are actually two. These are not new poles, these are replacements. And they are all in the right of way. They contacted Kevin Brown, the road agent. He has done a walkthrough with them. This is not to be confused with a couple of pole replacements that they are making up by Talent. In that case, road agent Brown and recreation chair Chris Burns did a walkthrough, and they were all set with that, but these are in just our regular right of way.
Okay,
And so they applied as they should. The road agent has signed off, and now we are asking for the board's approval. They are poles, it's a safety issue,
Yep.
so,
getting old?
yes.
Copper
Where are
though.
these poles,
Some are along Talent and some are,
Page
and
Road.
then there's one on Page, yeah, there's.
Because I saw them replacing a pole on Pinecrest in Albuquerque
They
last
did,
week.
they did replace one, that's not this, that they had spoken to the road agent too. The poles on Page and up by Talent, they're marked. So if you see the poles that are marked, those are the ones that, they did a complete
Evaluation.
go-through
Yep.
of Litchfield. Identified quite a few safety issues of old wooden poles and.
So why'd they not come forward for that pole to do this?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because I was
Have to
surprised, I
ask the
came,
road agent.
yeah, I came down, there was no flag, there was nothing, and they had, the driller was out there replacing the pole. The pole got put up, and nothing got transferred yet, but,
I mean, generally, they, unless it's a maintenance issue, right? An emergency maintenance issue, someone's down and they have to.
Yeah, yeah.
But generally, if it's part of this standard replacement safety, they
Come
would,
forward.
they would
Okay.
submit one. And the road agent has been, pretty good about making sure and asking so that we have these all documented on file of what's been replaced.
So do we refer to him as the road agent or the road gent?
Oh,
Maybe he's got a new title,
no,
Urgent.
right?
well, he'll get a kick out of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure he's a gent.
He is, that's right. There we go.
Okay. So do we have a motion for approval of this?
I'll make the motion to approve.
All right, motion for Mr. Brunel,
I'll second it.
second for Mr. Lynch. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 500. Up next, motion to approve the boat tax agent agreement with Irwin Marine.
Yes, so this, comes from the town clerk, tax collector. This, and you see it every year, this is so that, Irwin Marine can issue the boat tax, when they are selling a boat, and you sign off and approve it every
Yep.
year.
Done that before.
We have a boat tax?
Well, registration.
Registration
Yeah,
fee.
registration.
Oh, registration.
What's the
Same thing
difference
as what you have here.
It just, well, it just allows them to service their customer when they're actually buying the boat there versus
Oh.
coming into town to do it.
Okay.
I'll make a motion, we approve the boat tax agent agreement with Irwin Marine.
I'll second it.
Motion from Mr. Brunel, second from Mr. Gannon. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 500. Up next, we have review of Board of Selectmen bylaws.
So I believe there was a issue, someone wanted to,
Yeah, we had just been talking about things all during the year, and I wanted to make sure we get a couple things tied up before the end of the season here. We had, with respect to, we have a 2-year term for the chair. And I had recommended doing a 2-year term for committees, keeping the committee flow going, getting people on different committees, and we never adopted it. It was talked about doing it and making it voluntary, but if you, I think if we don't have it as a bylaw, I think it leaves room to ignore it, basically. And the example I'll use, which really is not the town, we had a warrant a few years ago that instructed the school to always ask the voters for new positions, and then 2 years later, I think it was switched to advisory, and to my knowledge, they've never come forward and asked the voters for a position. Up to this year, they did do it with a trainer, but it just, advisory means don't bother, really. It's not, so I think we should put it into our bylaws and make it a thing.
Before we do that, though, have we reviewed all the bylaws of the other the committees? Because they all have bylaws themselves. Commission,
Yeah.
Conservation does, I believe
Yep.
Rec does. I think they actually have it outlined in those. I know Conservation does.
I think the last couple of years, they've been updating the bylaws.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't
Well,
have-
since Ken's
I
been
don't-
here, it's definitely,
we've never had bylaws, so, I mean,
Actually, we did have bylaws. We
Well,
just
yeah,
needed to
just-
find them.
nobody knew where they were.
I just couldn't find them.
Yeah, we did find it. We found
I
references.
never
of
even
them.
heard of them, so.
Well, that's
It's like-
unfortunate, I guess.
But no, rec, conservation, we make it a point that after the new officers join, the 1st of April, to let them know that they need to submit their new bylaws. Or at least
Reapprove them. Right?
reapprove
Reapprove 'em,
them,
yeah.
review them,
Yep.
make any changes.
Yep.
So capital improvement did some,
Question, are you asking us who sit on the other boards that we change, or are you asking all commissions?
No, this just
Just
refers to the
us?
selectmen,
Okay,
not
I
the
just
other
wanted to make
boards.
sure. So you're
is-
saying,
this is
if I
just
sat
our
on planning for
bylaws,
2
yeah.
years, not to sit on
Yeah.
another?
Yeah, the other boards can run themselves, they do a
Okay.
fine job with it. But this just is for us, and that's all. And of course.
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought you were trying to.
Oh, no,
edict down to the boards how they're gonna instruct their boards.
No, no, and, it could always be, if it was a unanimous choice to do to have somebody stay or whatever, that's fine too, But just, I think keep people moving and keep fresh blood going in to these commissions, so it doesn't get stagnant. I think it's the way to go. I think it's the right thing to do.
So you're looking at D. D2, the selectmen liaisons assignments.
Let's see.
You would want
I just want
to
that
add
back.
some
Article 2.
language similar to the board chair?
Yeah, it would just be a up to
No
a
more than
2-year,
two?
yeah, up to a 2-year limit on a commission. And again, if the board wishes to vote unanimously that somebody stays on a commission, then so be it. The board can always override their bylaws.
Is there any downside to it? I'm just trying to play all sides here, right? Say you don't have expertise in a certain field.
Well, we're all in 3-year terms anyways.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, we serve for 2 years, right?
Yeah.
And you throw somebody into a.
Give somebody else, yeah.
I mean, I don't mind it, I'm just trying to think of the worst
Well, I think the
scenario.
challenge is getting, having somebody who's actually interested in the topic of that committee to be on that committee. I mean, there are certain,
I don't have a-
Yeah, give you a little exposure to the other activities going on.
I know so much about recreation.
Well, you have had your boat in the river.
The boat's been there more times than I want to. I still got that boat, Bobby. The one that I didn't almost come home with.
The only thing would be if you had a commitment that night of the meeting, right? That would,
Yeah, you can.
I mean, that
ask
would have to be
somebody.
discussed, right?
Well, that's like any other. If you're not gonna make a meeting, let us know and somebody can cover.
No, what I'm
for
saying,
you.
somebody is
Yeah.
always committed on a Wednesday night, they could not go to that meeting. That's all,
Yeah.
that's the only thing. that I-
There's many reasons why you can't. There's family issues, there's all
Right.
kinds of stuff.
As long as we have the discussion
It's no
about it.
different than
I would-
now.
I mean, the
I
one,
thought, I don't think I would make it hard and fast 2 years. I would just say that we'd strive to make it rotating every 2 years. Just, because, again, you may have that situation where the Wednesday night meeting is not good for anybody but one person, and that person wants to stay on. I don't
Yep.
see,
Well, then just have the board vote.
but we do that anyway, right? When the board gets the remake up,
No, they don't. The board, they say who would like to take so-and-so, but we never vote anybody onto a board or a commission.
it's
never
by
voted.
nature of, if Steve says, I wanna go do budget this year, go ahead, Steve, do budget.
You won't hear me saying that, but, so pick another
Well, but
one.
that's the point, it's like,
Yeah.
it's usually about,
Straws, we
I
got
don't,
straws.
it's not a vote, it's we wanna do that position for the year. I don't know why we have to be hard and fast about it.
so you always.
This board has no
generally-
influence over those committees anyway.
Steve
They're
likes
as
planning.
a listener and understanding what they're doing and bringing it back to us.
No, but it also makes the members of the boards get involved with these other committees too. So you're not gonna spend your entire term on one committee, which has been done in the past.
Sure.
We've had people come in and just sit on rec for 3 years, or sit on conservation for 3 years. I mean, I ended up with budget for 6, because everybody tends to go like that every time that.
So did I.
But you're so good at it.
I'll take it next year. If you want off.
I have to be off according to our bylaws.
No, you don't. This board can overrule that.
The board can overrule it, yeah.
Actually, the bylaws do not say that you have to appoint it to the whatever commission. It's not in there. If we make that change, it would be. Right
But
now.
I would like it to be in there, and then we can, again,
Well,
we
you don't
can
want it?
override it. The board has the ability to override it.
Well, why,
Are you trying to get out
why
of
are we
it?
making a change right now
Think you
when we have a
get
board
away from the budget
resitting,
committee?
recommitting again? We have we have election in March. I know there's only
Yeah.
probably one new member potentially, but why don't we wait before we make a decision until that board comes in, review the bylaws at that time,
You got it.
bring that same feedback at that time, and if everybody agrees, we agree, but
I'm all for it.
Yeah,
I don't see any
definitely-
reason why to make any change right now until we re-elect.
I definitely understand your point, and where we've been having the chair or a rep come in, I think the position of a liaison is gonna diminish more, because I'd personally rather hear from someone from the rec, someone come from the conservation, somebody from the planning board that's in it every day coming to us, opposed to one of us saying, not every day, one of us just saying, oh yeah, there was a meeting and we briefly talked. I'd like to hear what they are getting into. So I think the roles, or I'm hoping the roles of a liaison start diminishing some. We're required to have it, but I think that responsibility should fall into the board.
So I had a great question asked
I
at
do after
deliberative.
Kim, yep.
Great question, by a resident at deliberative was, do you think that there is lack of participation in the Board of Selectmen, or a lack of people to run for the Board of Selectmen because of the number of evenings that they have to be committed to other committees? And would this new process that you have of people coming in ever take that place?
No, because we only meet them once a year, right? 'Cause that's how it is now.
Well, once every so many months.
Yeah, once or
Yeah.
twice, depending
maybe-
how it rotates.
Yeah, so I think the weekly, or the bi-weekly reports are still a good thing.
So I have two questions. If this was gonna be pushed off, it would have to be before this Article 2D
Yeah.
happens, right?
Mhm.
So whoever's here after the election,
No.
it would have to be before
Well,
the
yeah, I
assignments
guess-
happen.
Yeah,
And the
because
second thing,
there'll
we
be
never
some people-
cleared up. Some of the boards you sit on, you're a voting member, and other ones you're not, right? Because were we discussing the planning board? Maybe
Yeah.
some towns do not vote. The selectmen's rep doesn't vote.
There are some towns that there's
So
no
that should
selectmen's
be-
reps on anything. The
Yeah.
committees are separate.
Right, but the selectman rep on the planning board does vote.
Yeah,
And
that-
some towns don't allow that.
and that's because there could be some litigation coming on and you're enforcing. That's a gray area here.
But I'm just
Most
saying,
towns,
it
the selectmen
goes
don't
into
get a
the
chance to vote on a
committees.
planning
Some
board
committees-
decision
Oh, sorry.
because they're gonna have to enforce whatever comes down the line and they're gonna have to step back. That's why I'm not a fan of being on so many committees, especially when you get into planning and zoning. And you get into a conflict, okay? Even with the zoning board, we're not on that one, because that's a legal matter.
So I think there's some distinction here because you appoint members to boards and
Mhm.
commissions. So when boards and commissions are acting in any official capacity,
Through our appointments.
they are acting as agents on behalf of the Board of Selectmen. Right, so, if the planning board takes, that's why in most towns, you'll see that there's actually some documentation that comes back to the governing body saying what actions have been taken at these, because when they act or fail to act, either way, good or bad,
Yep.
they are doing so as agents of the governing body. You appointed them.
That's their minutes, though.
Yeah, in some cases. In other cases,
It's
If-
a gray area, and we get into planning and zoning.
yeah, if they're giving a recommendation to DES, right, they're writing a letter to some state agency, they should be sending it to the governing body. They should not be speaking on behalf of the town, without be speaking on
Correct.
behalf of the governing.
And sometimes there's not even a quorum unless the selectman's rep is there.
Yes.
So they have to be able to vote too. See, that's the.
That's the gray area that we got with the teams out there, the different committees. If you can't get a quorum together, and there's quite a few on those committees,
some of them-
okay? It's just like us. If we can't come here and
Planning
get a
board's
quorum.
good now, yeah.
Yeah. Well, just like us, if we can't get a quorum,
So this is me being a little naive on the other boards. Does conservation selectman rep get to vote? I
Yes.
mean,
yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
you do,
Budget?
but I've taken the tack that if something's coming in front of the board, I will abstain from it. I'll give them my advice, I mean, what I think, or what, but I'm not gonna vote on it, cause I don't wanna take a double dip at it.
Well, in that situation, you should vote with conservation, how you feel at conservation, and then when it comes to the board, you should be voting as the liaison as conservation, so if they said yes, your vote should be yes, whether or not you agree.
Well, that's unclear, right?
Right.
That's why it's,
How
like,
do
for
you-
me, it's
yeah.
like, they have enough members to vote what they wanna do as a commission.
Correct.
My vote doesn't really matter at that point, I'd rather just stay in, because ultimately, in the case of the land purchase, it was ultimately this board's decision.
Gotcha, yeah.
I didn't wanna vote for it there, I mean, I was supportive of it, obviously, but the same token, I didn't think it was fair for me to
Yeah, and what my concern would be is we don't want you being a rep on, say, conservation, you staying with that. They voted yes, then you come here as a rep as conservation,
no.
you vote no, and you
Crazy.
overwrote,
Right.
you know.
And there's the
overstepped.
conflict
Yeah,
that comes up.
unless this, you know, the way I look at it is, if this board gave me an the order of, you're not supportive of this, we're not supportive of this, vote no, then I'd vote no. But it's never, I don't think it's ever happened in the history
No,
of the
that's
commission,
one
so-
vote.
Most cases, you don't have a history of before that vote comes as what it's gonna be, because it just is what the agenda is, okay? That's why I'm not a fan of being a liaison of certain groups where we gotta deal with, we are the authority for the enforcement, okay?
Yeah, I never,
So,
okay.
yeah,
Go
there
ahead,
are
Fran.
things
No, you
that,
go.
Oh, I never make a first or a second motion, I want them to do it.
You got it.
That, you know, that's, but I don't do what John did and, you know, say back, but sometimes they do say, well, what does the Board of Selectmen think, you know?
Well, if they wanna know,
If it's
then
public,
they
you'll let
should
them know
come
because it
to
was
us.
already public, but that's it, but I never would go in to try to sway a board either way, just,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the other side of that, if it's a spicy vote or a spicy situation, where you go, oh, damn, one way or the other, or it goes bad, I really think being a selectman's rep on that could be a conflict if it comes to enforcing issues or cases from there, no matter what you say or think. Okay, you may not agree, and you can vote no, okay?
But in that situation, you should abstain from that vote
Correct, because it may come back and haunt you.
to hear, well, come.
Yeah, here.
You don't wanna have two bites at the apple, as they say.
Correct.
So if you abstain, you're not voting either
Yeah,
way,
got it.
and then if then you're open to vote as a board of selectmen.
And you vote on budget, but recreation, do they vote?
But I always voted there how I voted here. Other than this year, when I voted no on the assessment, I voted the board's wishes for budget committee.
Right, so past here, you have to represent the board's vote.
Yeah.
Board of recreation, do they vote?
Recreation, they vote, planning board, I voted on certain things, like the
Yeah.
last planning board, I abstained at a couple just because I knew that may be coming in front of us. But rec, they always,
Same here, when I was on the planning board, I didn't vote for something.
same with conservation, unless it was, like John was saying, like the recent purchase of, the property and stuff like that,
Yep.
it's gonna come in front of us, then it's just best to abstain. But, you know,
That's when you gotta get, make sure.
Yeah,
you
even
have a
during
quorum.
that conversation, you know, I shared what I heard from this board and things I gotta consider and the concerns we have with buying the land.
Yep.
That's, I'm bringing back the messaging that I heard and I agreed with and brought it forward, but
Back to you, I brought that up because it has weight, whether we go to different boards, but sometimes if you are locked in a configuration and you get allies, and I don't mean that in a mean way, I just mean you're friendly with somebody, whatever. Groupthink, you know, groupthink when you're all thinking the same thing, sometimes it's good to shake it up, is all I'm saying.
Yep.
Is sometimes change the configuration might be helpful, especially, whether we vote or not, that's another
Correct.
question, but should be asked.
So I do think too, moving forward with, as a liaison, we should think about, going back to someone mentioning, there's too many meetings, you know, we spend a lot of time in meetings. Some of the meetings are short, some of them are much longer, so we have to be cognizant of, you know, you don't wanna be on budget as well as conservation, because those meetings can run really long, or recreation runs long. Same with planning board, but some of them, like facilities committee meetings, I think are short.
2
Heritage
hours.
can be
They're
short.
2 hours,
2 hours.
and, you know, at least.
So
And
we,
that's, we're talking about a whole bunch of stuff too.
so we should look at all the budgets and make sure one person
Yeah.
isn't on two boards that consume 8 or 10 hours of their,
unless it's their choice, I mean, that's the other side of it too.
yeah, unless it's their choice. So
But that's what I mean, it's like, if you restrict the term,
you could be forcing that
you can be
hand.
forcing somebody else to take something that's gonna take more time. I mean, I don't know, but I'm also, I think some of our committees should just go away, that's just me. And I'm not talking about the
Gonna
ones
get
that,
some
I'm
of
not
us in
talking,
trouble.
no, and I'm not talking about recreation or conservation, I'm just saying, you know, like, I'm not a big fan of the CIP process the way it is. To me, it's got I feel like it's got a little bit more
It's grown legs.
growing legs, and this board actually has the ultimate say anyway, so why are we going through all these exercises, right? To me, it was always just to develop the the impact fees, and that was it.
Yeah,
And
it's
then we-
required by statute to have a CIP committee to have
everything-
impact fees.
Right, that's their task, it's one thing and done, right? So, to me, that's easy, but now they're evaluating what we are gonna deem as priority for the town direction when it comes to investments.
Well, they're just saying what the department heads told them.
But again, the department should be coming to us and telling us what their needs are and helping us understand why it's a priority so that we can set that goal.
That would follow in the law. You don't like the law, I agree.
I-
It is tedious, but it's
I
time
don't think the
consuming as well.
CIP, I don't think when we put the mandate of $50,000 warrant articles that they approve borrowings, they're gonna come on this budget, that's what I was told as a department head. I don't think that's appropriate. I think we should be able to come to the board and express the need, and the board makes a decision, right? I get
We
that,
can come to the board before we go to CIP, but
yeah.
ultimately by law, CIP is acting the way it's supposed to be acting, and you have to do that in order to assess impact.
For impact, I'm talking about impact fees, I get it, but I'm talking, big capital improvement projects are things that gotta go in the CIP. But when we talk about $50,000 warrants or higher, need to go to CIP before they come to this board, the Board of Selectmen, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be
And
before.
we learned in this whole police department episode that we lost sight of the police department going through the
Yeah,
process,
'cause
because
it's-
we weren't there, it was too far away from us.
Yeah, too much
That should have
stacking
been, the police department should have been here every other month or every other week, or whatever it was, updating us on the progress of the money that we invested in that process.
Yeah.
Right? And again, economic development, has it done what it needs to do to give us, did the research? Now we gotta find, we really gotta figure out what our master plan is, what are we trying to do?
I know, that's what John said as well.
Who?
John Brennan, Jason Brennan, excuse me.
Oh.
Yes. Our economic development, we're ready to write that report. We just have one more visitor coming in, who's gonna do some analysis for us.
Okay.
I mean, I'm kinda thinking the committees need to come in front of us more frequently with updates. Or,
Or
like you said,
submit a
maybe,
written
or
update.
submit something that's
A report or
a
something.
report quarterly to the board on the actions and things that were taken, right?
Or the minutes.
Or better yet, just watch the meetings if you wanna take a whiskey and sit back and watch the meetings.
Is it required by law to have a liaison on the boards? Is it a requirement to have the liaisons? No?
No.
Okay. So it's something we elected to
Not
do.
required by law for a selectman's rep to sit on a board?
No.
Really? Why is all the
I
ex
think the only
officio,
statute would be
officio, all
budget
that
committee's the only one I
language?
think set a
I know.
statute for it.
Well, budget committee, but because budget committee defined it that way.
That's the only one that's really the biggest one.
In the town of Hudson, there's a selectman on the school board.
Let's think about that.
Yes, there are some
What is-
towns that have.
What do
In
they
Hudson,
have?
There's a selectman that sits at the school board meeting.
Wow.
In the city of Manchester, the mayor is the school board chair.
Is he?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, oh,
Oh.
it's an interesting,
That's a different whack right there. I know all the committees and boards that, when I worked as an official, they asked me if I would go to some of those meetings because of my background. You know, with the
Right.
violations and stuff like that, and that's what I used to do.
but remember, in a city, a chartered city,
A different ballgame.
they're one entity. They're
Yeah.
one fiscal entity.
Yeah,
So
yeah. that's
here, it's a little different because
right. The mayor's got
you
more
don't,
than he
as a
expected.
selectman, have any say in their budget, really.
Okay,
So we're keeping with the model that we do have a selectman's rep on boards and commissions?
Is that what everybody wants to do? You
Well,
wanna
I-
wait until we get a new board and
Yeah.
then decide?
we'll wait to get a new board.
And then figure it out, okay?
I don't think it's necessary.
Something
but-
I think we should also add, is each year as new members come onto the rec, conservation, heritage, wherever, they should all have to be required to take the RSA,
Right to know laws?
right to know laws.
I think that's probably advisable at this point.
And then maybe the same thing about like, what is your position, how do you vote, how to be a member of one of these organizations. Because we get people, when I first started, I didn't know, I just sat there, I listened, I paid attention, and I learned, but if you get somebody who joins a board, it might be nice to have them read the right to know law, understand it, what they can and can't say, and then also, as a member, what are their requirements,
Who did
responsibilities.
that workshop? Someone
NHMA?
did the, yeah,
NHMA did.
was
NHMA, I
that
think,
you,
yeah.
Bob?
No, I
Someone,
didn't do that, I did budget.
I did the right to know law.
the new
Yeah.
elected official. So every May, NHMA does a workshop for new elected officials, and it's generally selectmen, school board, a higher level,
Elected officials.
elected officials, and it's a whole day.
Yep, yep.
And they have a section in there on right to know law. But that's a very good workshop to go through.
Well, we can't mandate someone to go to it,
No.
not an elected official anyway.
Got it.
But doesn't NHA have an online course too? Don't they have a right to know online?
Yes, they do.
I mean,
There's
that's,
several.
so maybe we recommend you go to this class, but if you can't, at least go to the online class and get the
Yeah.
high level stuff,
View
right, to
the-
understand what you have to deal with. And I think that should be, I actually think that should be all the committees too. If you're appointed, you need to take this right to the.
Yeah, that's.
Planning board used to have to take it. We had to go. It was on a Saturday or something, we all went.
Because
Yes,
people-
the elected,
We
the
had to go.
elected one is,
People on the commissions talk about the right to know law, but they really don't understand what it is.
Right.
they don't.
So it's best, just to let them know, take this, watch this hour and a half meeting or video, whatever it is, so they understand what it is.
It's very difficult, because even people that think they know it, until you've extensively had it thrown at you a million times.
Until you've practiced in it.
Practice is making it
It's
perfect,
evolving.
okay? Been there myself.
Okay, so we'll push this off till the
Yep.
new board sits, okay. Up next, appointment to commission on environmental and public health impacts of perfluorinated chemicals, section 126-A, semicolon 79- a. Ms. Kleiner?
Sounds like a really fun meeting.
So I'm gonna look to Selectman Queenan
Sounds like a-
this
sounds like a
item,
disease.
because Selectman Queenan received the communication.
So, no. I received a phone call. It doesn't have to be me. I'm just letting you know that.
Who called you?
Rich LaSalle sits on that POFA committee, this committee here, and they were asked to reach out to a board of selectmen and a citizen to see if anybody would be interested in going to this meeting. It's once a month on a Friday at, I think, 2:00. It's virtual. And so I asked about it. I said, well, what am I supposed to do? So scientists have gotten together for the state. He listens in on the conversation and report back anything to us here. What caught my eye was part of this is DES, and if they're talking about anything with pipes and water, I thought it would be nice to sit and listen to this meeting, just to report back. So it doesn't have to be me, it can be anybody here, but he's reaching out for a board of selectmen. But if you are gonna be the person, you have to be sworn in here to let the committee know that you'll be attending the meetings. I don't know who the citizen is, I have no idea, but,
Do we have a citizen currently?
I don't know.
Did they ask us to find a citizen?
No, I'll pass that back to Rich, I'm not sure how they're
Okay.
going about that, if it's being posted or not,
We'll reach out to Rich and ask him if there's a citizen on board.
so.
Who wants to
But I
be?
think if you're volunteering, I commend you.
It's a Friday afternoon, once a month,
It's a Friday afternoon, sounds
so
like a
it's,
Bailey's
if
thing.
anybody wants to beat the door down, but I mean, I'll be happy to do it, but again, just trying to hear anything about
Well, I'll make the
infrastructure
motion.
and water is why I would like to listen to this.
I won't be here to help you.
We don't need to make a motion.
I
for
think
this,
you
right?
have to,
Yes.
if
You
that
do
they
have to
need
make-
to
I
prove that
move
you
to
swore somebody
appoint
in from the board of selectmen.
Oh, yeah, right here.
Whoever,
Yeah.
whoever
For
you're
you.
appointing, it does have to be that language.
Yeah, right here.
Yep, I move to appoint Kim Queenan to the 126-A:79-A Commissioner on the environmental and public health impacts for fluorochemicals.
I'll second it.
The motion
Last
from
time
Mr.
I put it
Brunel
somewhere.
and a second from Mr. Lynch, and you almost got the word right.
I know.
You did good, but it's a tech word.
So, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained,
Abstain.
motion carries 401.
So now we just gotta try to find a citizen, to see if they're willing to participate.
Pronounce the word again for me.
Want me to check with Rich?
Say it again.
Say that word?
Have Rich contact,
Perfluorinated.
you want me to have Rich contact Kim,
That's what I
see
thought.
what's happening?
Yeah,
Sure.
if,
Thanks, guys.
They might have one, I don't know.
Yeah.
We
I'm
didn't have that
assuming
in
it would be the board that would
college.
appoint.
We'll
perfluorinated.
find out.
Yeah, fluorinated.
I'd say thank you. Thank you.
You may want to hold those sentiments for a little bit.
It's
I'm
once a
glad to
month.
help.
She'll get over it.
We're glad to help.
All right. So up next, we have CBIZ, CPAs, PC, letter of engagement, financial audit.
I love that.
This may look different to you, but this is, I think, second year now. Markham bought Melanson Health,
Yep.
Heath.
Yep.
CBIZ bought Markham.
Okay.
So, same firm,
Yeah.
we will have the same audit team,
Okay.
same audit supervisor. And they reached out, it's the same price, but we do need a motion to approve the, letter of engagement with CBIZ CPAs for the 2024 audit.
TV station is this
So
one?
motion to approve the
Yes.
2024 audit,
And everything
So
is, everything
that'd be it,
remains
BZ?
the same, it's just a different
and the
firm.
change is made, okay. It was a good audit, right? We got a good
Yeah.
audit, right?
Yes, we did.
Then
Well, you
yes.
got the 2023 audit, we're doing, this will be the
This will be
2024.
the 2024
This
that
will
will
be the
be,
new,
and
this
going
past year.
into,
Okay, so we need, can you get a
March,
motion for this,
April.
please?
I'll make a motion, we approve CBIZ CPAs for the audit of the 2024.
Second. Steve did it.
We have a motion for Mr. Brunel and a second for Mr. Gannon. Any discussions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstained, motion carries 500. Up next, we have the voter guide discussion. What you got here, Kim?
so there is a draft there, and it is a draft. It's
The one that
still-
says original?
Still, it's being, no, if you open it up, it says draft in big blue.
That's actually the warrants.
Oh, that's the
Yeah,
warrants, just in case you needed to look back.
Oh, this one here, okay.
That's just-
Oh, I'm sorry, Selectman Queen, and it just went up this afternoon, cause I was still working on it.
Oh, well, I just went in, shouldn't it be here?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
below.
Oh, it's below it, okay.
Below the warrant.
Because that was my question, I'm like, where is it? And because I saw the old vote counts
Yeah,
here.
so, yeah,
Right?
where your warrants were on your page there, it's right below that item.
So Article 1, I've heard back, the town clerk reviewed that, that is correct, that's all the people that are running for office.
Oh, I didn't see it. on time.
Article 2, 3, 4, and 5, I've reached out to the planning board as they generally assist with the article explanation. Which leads us to Article 6, and here's where I really want to get some direction from the board. I left a paragraph or a page at your seat tonight. That was drawn up by the police station, or by the Litchfield Police. And in looking at it, I think there's some sections of it that are important, like that history.
Okay. Should we just read it?
Uh,
Read the page so the people at home know what we're talking about? And then we can discuss as we're
Okay.
going on? Okay. Article explanation, the Litchfield Police Department proposed constructing a new police station attached to the recently constructed fire station situated at 10 Liberty Way. The current police station was constructed in 1997. At that time, the staff consisted of 7 police officers. LPD currently employs 14 full-time officers, 2 full-time dispatchers, 3 part-time officers, and 1 part-time administrative assistant, which is a total of 20, 17, 18, 19, 20? All right, and they're looking for 2, so they'll be at 22 when they're full-staffed.
Oh, 18, you're right.
History. The current building was built in 1997 with several cuts made to the original plan. 1999, Chief Iverson noted deficiencies in the storage space / Sallyport locker rooms. 2002, Litchfield Master Plan included an addition to this police station within 5 years. 2008, MRI study concluded an addition should be completed within 5 years. 2010, BCM planning recommended a new building. 2009 to 2014, capital improvement plan included a new police station. The justifications for this inclusion cited deficiencies in evidence retention, bathroom capacity, office space, record storage, suspect lockup, and employee locker rooms. 2017, Warren Street Architects, Public Safety Complex Design, Fire and Police combined as currently proposed. 2018-2019, Castle Booze Associates out of Boston, I believe, conducted a space needs assessment for the LPD. They determined a 12,600 square foot building would meet the needs of the department and the community. The current request includes a 10,500 square foot building. 2020, updated study by Castle Booze Associates. 2020, Board of Selectmen voted 500 to spend $24,575 to get plans for option 3, which is the current plan. 2023, updated study by Ekman Construction. 2021 through 2026, CIP. Need for a new station along with GMS was urgent. Current CIP, need for a new station is urgent with construction to start in 2025. As demonstrated by that history, the need for a new police station has been formally studied, discussed, and documented since 1999. With progressive advancement to where we are today, the need for a new station was not determined arbitrarily. 5 police chiefs, including interim chiefs, have noted the need for either additional space or a new building. The proposed building aligns with studies, designs, and plans that are consistent with the objectives of select boards spanning the past 2.5 decades. It also aligns with the recommendations of 2 municipal consulting groups, 2 separate architectural firms specializing in public safety buildings, and a construction company with a public safety division that built the Litchfield Fire Department within budget. Our goal is to present a project that both suits today's needs and avoids the mistakes made in the design and construction of the current station. The objective is to construct a building that complies with ADA, state and federal law, accreditation standards, and best practices, and that remains functional for its entire serviceable life.
So here's the question.
Here's the question.
What is the question?
There's a fine line with voter guides.
A what?
Fine line.
Oh, okay.
You cannot, what they refer to as election year.
Yep,
That's,
You can't,
You
what
can
was that?
state
Electioneering.
facts.
yep.
So
Facts, though?
that's where my concern is. I think the history is fact,
as demonstrated by the history, is electioneering.
Correct.
yes.
The article
So
explanation.
when you get down to the last 2 paragraphs, I mean, even the first two paragraphs is fine. You know, this is how many employees we had, this is how many
Stating the
employees
facts,
we
yeah.
have.
Yep, those are facts.
But I think when you're getting down to the last two, you're kind of pushing the envelope.
Yep.
So I went back to look at what the school department did when they did the school. They had very little, description, article explanation on the voter guide. They only had the bond, really, and the fiscal part, which I think is important. I think the board wanted that included in the voter guide.
Yeah.
They pointed people to the website for kind of this additional, right, that GIS, that GMS Imagination or.
Reimagined, yeah.
Yeah, reimagine what, so, I do think that I like the history part because I think people need to know how much
Yep.
has happened.
Yep.
But then I would say we go into the financial part and we talk about the bonding. And then maybe at the end, we
I was gonna say,
have our website.
cut the two paragraphs if that's where their concern is. Put a, you know, for virtual tours and public presentations, go to the town, go to the direct link to that page that has all that stuff on it.
Yeah,
And then follow up with the financial stuff.
okay.
That's, I mean,
The other thing is, you heard it at deliberative, and I think it may be wise, because the school district did this, and I think the board's all in agreement on one particular plan, but if we really want to put something into the voter guide, I would suggest that the Board of Selectmen choose at least one or two of the proposed 8 bonding
I think so.
mechanisms.
No more than two.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
Well, I
you know,
thought
if you said 15 years, you wanna do it in 15 years level debt or 15 years level principal, I mean, they're pretty close to the same.
Didn't we agree that we wanted level principal though? I thought we,
That's a-
concept, I thought we
yeah.
did.
I don't
Yeah,
think
I
we
thought we
did.
did.
We thought it would be better, but I don't think we made a
We
motion.
just,
or anything.
maybe
Yeah.
we've discussed it, but we never made an
Didn't make a
official
formal-
motion.
I didn't think we made it, I just thought that, it looks like we were leaning that way, because if you remember, during delivery, we actually only showed level principal, I believe. I don't
We
think
only
Deb,
showed
Put the-
3,
yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
and it was level principal, I thought.
They
Oh,
were all level
yeah, it was
principal.
15, 20, and 25, I think.
Yes, it was.
Because that's what I thought we were leaning towards. So, but I agree, we should only show what we think, we should make a decision what we're gonna do, but obviously it always matters in what the,
I think it's gonna get too confusing
Yep.
in the,
voter guide.
voter guide.
The paragraph down below the history, I mean, the proposed building aligns with studies, designs, and plans that are consistent with the objectives of the select boards spanning the last 2.5 decades. I don't think that's electioneering. I mean, those are facts. I mean, there's been plenty of studies. I mean, what does everybody think? I mean, can we pick and choose out of here, or?
Again,
Yeah,
Because I also like it align, the recommendations of 2 municipal groups.
Yep.
And 2 separate architectural firms specializing in public safety buildings. You know, I really don't see a lot of that as, that paragraph as being electioneering. You can, like the first part, you could probably scrap.
Yeah, as demonstrated by.
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
That screams it.
yep,
so just strike that sentence.
yeah, and then maybe even the 5 police chiefs, including interim chiefs, because that's opinionary to me.
Yeah, it's just started the
That's
proposed
a fact,
building.
isn't it?
What's
They
that?
started
That's
the
a fact.
proposed
Building,
building,
yeah.
Bobby, that's a fact. You know, the
and then I
police
would
chiefs,
say
we went
scrap
through.
the last paragraph.
There's no electioneering on that one.
And strike the last total paragraph.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
keep the 5 police chiefs
Yep,
sentence?
'cause we went through so many. That's been our problems here.
Oh, no, I like the proposed building aligns with studies.
Yeah, I don't think you need to say the fire chiefs. I mean, it's talks up, it's in the history anyway.
Yeah, it's in-
Well, the only reason if you ask anyone that, if you ask a school person, they're gonna say, yeah, we could use a new school, if we, the police are gonna say, yeah, we could use a new thing, a new, building.
I mean, I'm gonna change the last two bullet points.
Consolidated to
You
one,
don't,
right?
yeah, I mean, you don't need, you just need to say that it's stated, or they're listed as, the project's listed as urgent in the last.
You can just say since 2021 and on, it's been urgent.
But you definitely don't want, you don't put exclamation points.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that being
And then, we can go right into the cost projections. And I think did I leave that up on your portal?
If not, it's on the police page anyway.
Maybe I did.
I thought I saw it.
Silly me. Nobody has it. I can probably, it's on the portal, on the website, right, John?
Yeah, it should be on the police page.
So if you go to the town website, under departments, police,
New police station.
station proposal.
It's right below the videos.
Yeah. So here we have the 15, 20, 25, and 30 year level principal. Was there any sense that you wanted to look at level debt?
Yeah, 'cause you stripped it out after our conversation. It's on the
There you
other,
go.
it's on the other page, just, it's
Yeah,
on-
the
it's only
level debt
six-
was actually the one I kinda liked. But, I mean, whatever the board chooses, I mean, we should thin it out.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about, if you do I guess the term, right, we all said short, but so if you use 15 years,
It's 46, is that what you got, 46 or 48?
that's only for 6 million though, this is the numbers for 6 million.
Oh, that-
Six
okay.
revised down below, 6.5.
Yeah, but it doesn't,
Oh, yeah, he's got 6.5 there.
yeah, but it's all level, oh, you just fixed it, didn't you?
Oh, I opened it, yes.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
All right, you had them hidden.
So it's 47 cents.
47 cents for 15 years,
Yeah.
yes, for the first year. Then 46,
So-
then 45.
That goes down.
So, John, can you read, go back up to the 47 cents, where you were at the top there, for the folks at home, what the estimated tax impact would be for, what do you have, 300, 500, and
Yeah, 350,
750?
so for 15-year level debt, for $350,000 home, it's $164.38. For a $500,000 home, $234.83. And then a $700,000 home, $328.76
And that's
Per year.
per year, yeah.
per year.
For 15 years.
$234 for a $500,000 house?
Mhm.
Okay,
For a year, yep.
so for $234 a year, we could get a brand-new police station. I mean, I don't think that's bad. I don't wanna pay taxes more than anybody, but, I mean, what they have over there is not, it's not suitable.
It's time for a change.
It's absolutely time.
There's another thing too, that this building here that we're in now on this side is starving for space as well.
Mhm.
So we don't have to worry about this thing, we got a place to
It's
put. our stuff.
$4.52 a week.
Yeah, it's well worth what we're doing. It's gonna solve two problems.
So it's about a Dunkin'
I was
Donuts.
gonna listen.
It's cheaper than Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
And level debt is, impact rate is lower than principal. Right, well, I guess over the years, it'll change,
And that's yearly, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, by tax bill, they're gonna see it split in half, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
And it goes down over the years, right?
It only goes down a penny, and it stays at 46 cents.
Pretty much the whole way.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so what was the
And
delta?
the level principal does what?
It's 58 cents,
Up
Per
front,
thou-
yep.
and then it's 291 at a $500,000 home. And it
And then
stays,
that
and then
one
it goes
drops.
down, yeah, the per year cost goes down by pennies every year.
So if you get to year 15, how much is it on a $500,000 home?
On year 15, it is $181. Let's call it $182.
So it will go down. The
Yeah,
tax-
you-
the tax
further you go,
impact
it
will
always goes
It
down.
would start
That's why I
higher.
thought we were looking at
It'll go
that,
down,
because it
yep.
actually relieved as we went along.
the fire is level principal, I believe.
I think so.
Go check,
I don't recall.
check.
Well, we did it longer, right? It was 20 years, 25
20
years?
years on the,
Yeah.
on the fire, yep.
And that was done too, because basically it was trying to balance
Yeah.
out the impact.
I mean, Prince,
So with the interest, what's the difference between level principal and level debt?
So total pay out of 15 years was $8,408,000.
On principal?
Principal,
was
yeah.
Total paid. right?
sorry, fire station is 20-year level debt.
Oh, it is a little bit.
It is
On level debt, so level debt, what are we at, 15 years? So it's 8.4 for the other one,
So.
About $100,000.
$100,000 more
it's 100,000 more.
in level debt. So the end result on level principal is cheaper in the long
It's a
run.
little cheaper. Starts out higher, ends lower, much lower. Okay,
Which one started higher and what lower?
level debt started higher, no, level principal, I'm sorry, level
Yeah.
principal was
Level
higher,
principal.
finished much lower, and level debt stayed about the same.
Oh, yeah,
Started
pennies.
lower, but stayed about the same.
Yeah, it drops 20 cents over the term.
On the principal,
Well, 20 cents on the tax impact.
Yeah, on the principal.
Right.
so when we get to year 15, yeah, okay.
And I think your 15-year, and you could say 15 or 20 level principal.
Yep.
Just because you're paying less. And
Little
interest,
principal.
I hate interest.
Yeah, me too. I mean,
Yeah.
the
The less
Total-
interest, the better.
the total cost for a police station at level principal after 15 years to the homeowner at $500,000 is $3,400.
So $3,400 for a $500,000 house over the term.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not bad.
In the first year, they feel that
Yeah,
hit, right?
Yep.
Because it's a increase and, but after that, it's built into their taxes and.
Yeah,
obviously it's
That's
better,
still,
but-
yeah, it doesn't make it better because it's still there. They're gonna feel it all along.
I don't think that's bad at all. $3,400 on a $500,000 house over the course of a note,
15 years, yeah.
and for a new police station, which will serve the town for 40 or 50 years, maybe?
Hopefully.
Because I don't think we're gonna get much bigger, and they have room. They can eliminate the gym and make more office space if they need to.
Yep.
I mean, where does everybody wanna go, principal or level debt? I mean, you kinda convinced me to go the other way now.
Yeah, like I said, I thought we had that conversation already.
We did, I always liked the level debt, but I mean, I'm willing to go whichever way the board wants to go.
Make a motion.
No, we're discussing it, Kevin.
The end result
What does
is,
everybody think?
the end result is really minimal of a difference, so
There's no big deal at the end.
like if it's $350,000 house, the difference is $29.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Yeah.
But the only,
After
the only
15
difference
years,
is,
$29.
the only difference is that the tax rate is going down
Yeah.
on the print level principal. So,
Well, we have appreciation, when do they reevaluate, every 4 years, your
5
house?
years.
Every 5
Yeah.
years, so
That's
I'm
true.
just saying, factor that into when your
yeah,
house
that's
goes
true
up
too. Yeah.
high. If it does, it may not, it may plateau.
Well,
Just
when
saying,
when
we
the
have
evaluations
four of
go
those.
up, the tax rate
So
goes
we'd have
down.
3 of those, right? Actually, we'd have less, right? Every
Should.
5 years, it'd be
Yep.
3.
It's,
The last time
never
we-
proportionate, but
probably-
Right.
yes.
But the last time it did, and I remember people saying, geez, my tax bill went down.
But some people complained it went up too.
Yeah.
so.
Well, I
It's
get that.
different
Don't-
types of housing in
Yeah.
different ways.
Happens no matter what. You put a pool in, you do something to your house, they come back, they pick it up, it goes up, you hear about it. That's common practice.
Or you could say, you know, make a motion and include in the tax guide 15-year level debt and a 15-year level principal and
Yeah, I mean, if we're settling in on
Do
15
those two.
years, we want it a short term.
I like 15 years because you pay much less interest.
Well,
We did it with the towers, and I thought it was a really good move.
The towers,
Your cell tower,
we did it for 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
instead of, because we had the others laid out, remember? We had, what, 7 and 10?
I don't even recall, to be honest with you.
Yep. But we took that one because it was a little more money up front but less in the long haul, because we saved interest.
Are we deciding on this tonight, or are you just trying to show them it's gonna be one of the two, so they get an idea?
I think you make a motion to
Might
pick
make a
two,
motion.
Yeah,
or
why
at
don't
least two, no more than two tonight.
Just pick the two, and then they know that that's what we're gonna be in that.
So,
Right.
Are we zoned
So
in
that
on the
we can
15
say in the
years?
voter
or-
guide it will be
15.
one
I would
of,
say,
Yep,
I would
okay.
say 15 years, and we just show both level debt and level principal.
So we'll need a motion to accept the 2 15-year terms as possible bonding terms.
So moved.
We have a
Second.
motion for Mr. Brunel and a second for Mr. Gannon. Any further discussion? No? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
15
Motion
years.
carries
that'd be
5-0-0.
great. If you wanna look
Probably
through
74.
the rest of the articles, Chair, you might wanna look at the last one
Maybe at
and
home.
tell me that I'm far too wordy.
Which that, is that the
First time
Penachuk
seeing
one?
Yes. But if you wanna look them over, especially the articles, see if rec has anything that they wanna add to the recreation one. My deadline is the end of the week. So I have plenty of time for feedback. And so we've
Yeah, we're gonna cut that down.
I knew you were gonna tell me I'm way too wordy.
You're gonna lose voters in like the middle of the second paragraph. So
Okay.
we'll pare that down.
Yeah, I mean, take it home, you know, let me know your thoughts,
Okay.
and, if it is easier,
I like the way you did it as it is, because you're
I
not,
wanna pass that to the
28
chair,
lines.
and he can,
it's not hard. And you're not,
And if anyone sees anything that they want
yeah, if anyone sees
around,
anything, I
please.
have 2 more hard copies if anyone wants a hard copy.
Yep.
Yep.
you know, 'cause this
And
thing here is not
If you
me.
see anything that you want changed, just come see me
Mark?
Thank you, Kim.
and, you know,
No, I'll just look at the soft copy later.
She's got a computer, she's good.
okay.
But thank you.
I have a computer, but I'm not good with it.
I don't know, use your
Join the
spouses
club,
as
brother.
guinea pigs. Yeah, sounds good.
My name's not on here.
Perfect. So that was that.
See, I'm going places. That's why I'm not worried about it.
That's what I meant. A lot of things went bad.
Went too far.
Care about that either.
Oh, are we? Yeah, I lost.
Okay, so we're good there. Up next, we have town administrator and selectmen reports.
We have a second,
Sale.
Kim, you go first.
Okay, so everyone saw the February newsletter? Built right off of deliberative. Proposed Liberty Utility gas line.
I wanna look at that.
And it looks as good as the file is.
So, is that the one that goes down 3A?
From the airport, down Pettingill Road to Raymond Resort, to Brown Ave, to Charles Bancroft Highway, to the power lines just before Cummings Road, map 9, lot 1, over the river, under the river, over, under, whatever,
Goes, yeah,
whatever it's
I
doing.
don't, I think it's gonna go on the bottom of the riverbed.
It has to.
Okay,
They don't float it.
No, I thought they may trench it, but I don't think they're gonna trench it. under
So-
the
They-
river.
they
the
may- They
interesting
may trench some of it.
The interesting part of this, and it is a big file, DES is asking for comments from the towns by Thursday.
Sure.
Well, we're looking at that tomorrow then.
I have scanned it
Mhm.
onto the computer, and I would suggest that we send the link to the technical review committee, which is police, fire, highway, the town departments. They meet tomorrow morning. And conservation and planning. I don't think it really has anything to do with zoning, so I would leave them out. But planning and Comcom, and ask for them to send back to the select board comments and concerns, so that you can see them, because whatever gets submitted on behalf of the town.
Well, I mean, it's going down
were-
through the state right away on 3A, so I don't,
Yeah, I'm not sure why we would even have anything to say about it.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple of questions already
Okay.
from, how will they cross Nessenkeg and Chasebrook? How will that be handled?
Nessenkeg, they're not even going near it.
Nazarkeg is not.
Well, it's
there at
pretty
all. The only thing
It's,
is.
yeah, it's,
The brook at
no,
Parker Park?
yeah, you are, yeah, they are gonna cross it, yeah.
Yeah,
I thought I thought that was gonna be trenched.
That has to be trenched.
Yeah.
You would put a crossover underneath
Yeah,
that. It's
because the
not really
brooks aren't
trench.
that, they're not that deep.
They're
The
not
river's
that-
deep,
You know the area well. Okay?
and it's not gonna go over Chasebrook.
Nope.
Where's Chase?
by LKQ.
Chase is south of Talent Road.
It's already down.
Oh, that's Colby.
Colby.
Brook, yeah, and that'll be trenched too, I'm
Yeah.
sure, because those are shallow, very shallow.
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, that may be the question, right, just to find,
Right,
out,
we
clarify
just,
what
they,
they're gonna
we
do.
just wanna know.
Yeah,
And then, how will this affect, GMS? Cause, right, parents and buses back up on Charles Bancroft Highway,
I'm assuming they're gonna do it on the other side, on
Yeah.
the cow farm
that's what
side.
we're assuming.
Yeah.
But will there be any interruption, or will it be done during the summertime maybe, when schools are out? Can we look at a proposed timeline?
We should
Yeah,
have
so
a time.
police-
We need a
Well,
timeline.
yeah, we need to
Need
know.
a timeline.
And they wanna move quick on it because they need gas over there at Budweiser, which is where it's gonna end up.
What is it?
I cannot comment.
Um,
Let me cover this
So-
up for a
Can we
little
get
bit
them
here.
to come give us now, give us gas up here?
Clear the smoke.
So
I'm
my
looking at that.
understanding is it is
Bring it up here
a
to the town
major
hall.
distribution line
Yes,
that can have large distribution lines
As well as
added to
houses.
it.
No,
Yep.
no,
No?
it's,
that's not my understanding because they're going, where the power lines are, that's my family's land and it's one line.
Yeah, it's one line, but you could tap
It's a
off it.
12-inch line.
Yeah, that's a distribution line of 12
Yeah,
inches. So-
because
It's
originally,
not like the other one that they proposed a few years ago, a different company, the 3-foot line.
That's a different ballgame.
That was a huge one.
no, that wasn't, it was still a small distribution, because the question was, if it runs up Albuquerque, can people tap off it? And they said, yes, this is a distribution, it is not a supply.
But the one that was a couple of years back was a supply line. The one
I
that,
thought that
because
was
all the
still
residents
distribution.
were up in arms when we went over to Campbell Auditorium.
And where was it, that was gonna go?
Up to the school, I
south of
thought,
you,
right? Coming off
That
of
was gonna
Page?
go,
It was going through Litchfield somewhere, and that's why they had to have that forum.
It was coming out of Londonderry.
Yeah, it was gonna end up at the Londonderry plant there.
yeah, but where was it crossing the river?
Nowhere down near
I thought it was
us.
Colby, it was gonna be on Colby
Colby
property.
side.
Yeah.
The
yeah,
Rocha
that
Farm.
was-
North, yeah, it was up north.
yeah. But no, DeRocha was Liberty's last proposal.
Yeah.
that-
Oh, okay,
That they turned down.
Yes.
but that's not,
But
it's
this
not
is
going,
one 12-inch.
it's not going to feed the bud
At least
plant.
with our, and now, full disclosures, my family gave them a right of way across the power lines there.
Yeah.
It's for one 12-inch line.
Okay, so you know more about this than us.
And it's not connecting to bud, it's going right
Well, it's
adjacent
gonna
to
end
the
up there.
property.
It's going to end up there, because that was their,
They could tap off
They
it,
needed
yeah.
a loop,
Yep.
right? They
Yep.
needed a secondary backup route, a loop.
Tap, they call it?
So where was that going? Where's it starting and going from?
it's coming from,
It's going from
um,
airport to
yeah.
down Pettingill Road to Raymond Resort to Brown to
Yeah.
Charles Bancroft Highway to the power lines just before Cummings Road.
Is it above ground, underground? What is it?
it's underground.
I
Underground.
just have to say, there's already an
No,
existing
right
gas
away.
line that was run down the north end of town.
Yeah.
The Continental's operation.
Yeah.
Okay, at the time Rick was doing that, he put that in with no problems at all. Okay,
And I think he went on the east side of 3A.
he did on that case.
Yep.
Okay, now how they feed it, okay, that's good, because they'll leave that line there. If somebody wants to tap into it, they have to feed Rick's line or something like that. Because Rick's line is gonna be refed by that line. Okay,
I don't think so.
well, I think it has to.
No, they're talking about, if they're going off the original proposal, it'll be on the west side of
Oh,
CVH.
Yeah, no,
All the
no,
way down, but it's not gonna interfere with Rick's at all.
no, it's not interfering with
Or
it.
touch it, it won't touch it, it's coming from two different,
Correct,
Yeah.
it won't touch it, but it's a feeder still, you know?
So since we've got it scanned, and it was quite a feat, because that's all we have is that. I'd like to send it out to the technical review, which is your town departments, and COMCOM and, planning, and just invite them to give us any comments that they'd like,
By Thursday.
but, yeah.
Well, COMCOM doesn't meet until this Thursday, so you may not get anything out of them. Well, you may.
does it have to be cause
No.
the park is actually rec, it's deeded to it's deeded
I
for
can send
recreational.
it to the rec as well.
Yeah, they meet tomorrow.
Well,
They
they
won't
might
take
wanna-
that. I would send it
they-
to 'em.
They would wanna see it then, probably,
Yep.
most likely.
I mean, I would send it to both and, you know,
Yeah.
COMCOM can respond, we'll respond.
Is it, do you have do you have a contact for Liberty there? Is it Mike Lennon?
The letter came from departmental, DES.
Oh.
So they have applied for an AOT permit.
Yep.
And it's Luke Sanborn from Liberty.
Okay.
See, they done
And
the
it's
right thing
VHB, I mean, it's, they're doing everything.
correctly.
The maps, everything it's very detailed. I just could not find any proposed timeline.
And the road, the only difference from last time is it's crossing over by the power lines instead of going up by
By
DeRoche property.
DeRoche, correct.
Energy, do we still have the Energy Commission going? Just for courtesy to send it to them? Just,
Good send
maybe
it
don't
to
want come feedback, I don't know when they meet next, but
Well, they were all for the last time.
Everybody who wants to get off oil, go to gas around here.
So this is going underground on the riverside of the Charles Bancroft.
Yep.
Now, what about all that, is it gonna rip up the road?
It's off the
All
road.
the
It's
water
in
lines that
the-
just went in, right? Everybody.
It's in the
hooked
right
up.
of way.
Lines on
Minimal.
the east side.
The total
To hook up to your house.
disturbance is
Isn't that going
five
over the road?
hundred and
Yeah, don't go
ninety-nine
underneath it. That's already
thousand,
as
seven
built.
hundred and thirty square feet.
Say that again?
599,730 square feet. It's the total area. They have sent a copy to the Merrimack River Lower
Advisory.
River Advisory Group.
The DOT's involved in
Mr.
this, because
Murphy
they're
has
right away.
copied.
Correct.
So,
Yeah, send it to them, I mean,
okay, I'll send it to everyone.
Oh, I went out too
Anyone
long.
Yep.
wants it all.
I'll take a copy of the map if you have an extra one.
Oh, I didn't make any copies, I just
Oh.
left this one,
Is that one? Okay.
yeah.
I'll look at it tomorrow. I'll be in tomorrow, 'cause they gave me some work for tomorrow. I can come in and do. This building department job is very stressful.
Cool.
It does, I mean, the only part that gives me a little bit is they talk about winter construction. That tells me school's not session. But, I think we just find out. Deal with it, they're pretty quick.
Yeah.
So, that's that. Quarterly training from Primex, so we've been working with Primex, heavily, and the joint management, committee. And so our first training went out to all of the employees. They've been really great about getting it completed. This one was harassment. So, which includes all different types of harassment, including sexual harassment. And so I get a report back, I can see when the employee has completed it, and then we keep all this information for our files. This is how the town, obtains a discounted rate on our insurance through Primex. And so each quarter, the employees will have a different training to complete. 2025 revaluation startup meeting. So we would like to choose a date, for a meeting and invite the New Hampshire DRA and, Avatar down to talk about the process that they are going to use for the 2025 revaluation. Generally, they go over things like, how people know when it's a revaluation employee, what to look for, what they're looking for, how they evaluate your property, what the timeline looks like, when you have a period to come in and talk about your assessment, the correspondence you'll receive, that type of thing. So I was thinking, if we could, I would recommend either the next meeting in February or your first meeting in March. But I don't know if you wanted to wait until your board changed over? Or if you had any feelings about that?
I don't have a problem with doing it.
I think it's a good process to do, and I think it, helps to, with the validity of your revaluation. So either, you want us to go with when Avatar and the DRA are available? And
Okay
just
with that.
schedule it during at the beginning of one of your sessions? Unless you don't wanna do another night.
Let's say during one of our meetings.
Yeah, one of our meetings.
Okay. We'll reach out and see. generally, the New Hampshire Department of Revenue has, one person who's kind of your supervisor.
Mhm. 24th?
And, yeah, you meet the
It
24th.
would be the 24th, yeah.
What day is that?
It's a Monday, March 24th.
You mean it
It's
during
a
normal
regularly
time?
scheduled
Okay,
meeting, yeah.
It's a day.
Yeah, we can make him part of the agenda.
Okay.
We don't want to give Kevin too much to think about before he retires.
Yeah, 'cause that would be the new board, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
February 24th, that's not the new board.
March.
Yep.
No,
March
March would be.
24th.
March or February?
March.
February, oh, you wanna do March?
Yeah.
March?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
March,
March 24th, and that gives plenty of lead time to see if they're available.
yep. Okay. We have a leadership meeting scheduled for, next week on the 19th. We are looking at the strategic plan that we've been proposing. Down below is a vision statement and a mission, and a SWOT analysis for the overall administration, which is basically my area and, Karen, Heather, a selectman assistant. That would be your administration. Police have completed theirs. Highway, has theirs, so we're looking to putting together a final package for you. The reason I included these two for you to look at tonight is these really need to have your approval on them. So when you look at our SWOT analysis, which shows, what we view as the strengths and the weaknesses and the opportunities and the threats, I think that gives the board, a good idea of where sometimes we feel constrained within our jobs. And I can tell you, most of the departments put the tax cap as a threat.
Yep.
But there was a lot of the same answers in the same categories throughout your departments. It was surprising how much of them were the same. So I think that gives the board a good idea on where we see the opportunities and the threats especially.
And so everyone at home knows this is SWAT, not SWAT.
SWOT.
Not like a SWAT team.
Strengths,
Strengths,
Weaknesses.
weaknesses,
opportunities, and threats.
there you go.
And, I mean, certainly, the weaknesses,
Yeah.
there shouldn't be any surprise,
No.
right? I mean, lack of space, lack of online records,
Budget pressures, capital
Budget.
funding,
yeah, I mean, it's not any big surprise.
record retention spaces, yeah, it's everything we've been talking about.
But then when you get to our, I think the vision statement and the mission, we wanna deliver services to all our residents fairly and efficiently, offering widespread benefits that enhance the quality of life for all residents, present and future. Encourage a culture of innovation, collaboration, transparency. There's equity and inclusion, which is, may not. Deliver quality services through dedicated and supported workforce. Strengthen community bonds, foster a sense of belonging. Maintain relationships, empower residents to engage in local government. And then maintain strong fiscally sound budget conscious plan. And then you have our mission on. So, we wanted to give you an idea of where we're going with this and make sure that we're on the same page, not drastically different.
Like it.
It's good to hear from everybody as well in that format.
Okay,
My machine's dead.
then we'll put together,
It's dead.
It's
I
dead?
don't know why it's plugged in, but that's okay.
we'll put together our plan on, how we're
Mine
gonna
was
do
good.
these things. That's the next step is, what's our goals and
Mhm.
objectives, and
Yep.
then we're good. We'll put it all together and we'll bring it to you.
Looks good.
Your next committee is the 24th here, that's conservation.
Okay.
I got an update today from the State House that there's a very interesting bill, Senate Bill 188. This is very interesting. So here we go to a state building code, okay? But now the Senate is considering that people will be able to hire their own building inspectors. These people will submit plans to the local government to sign off on, but if you don't sign off on it by the time specified, they get to go.
We're doing that on the planning board too, right? If we don't respond with so much time, they get to go.
So it allows property owners or developers, so this will be a large development, to have their own building code plan reviews and inspections and hire their own inspectors. So 3 days or 5 days for code inspectors to review the plans. That's pretty quick.
So my question to that would be, if somebody submits something and it doesn't get the response within the 3 to 5 days and they consider it granted, does that take the town off the hook legally?
No.
Why would the town be liable for something it didn't inspect?
Because I think after the 3 or 5 days, they consider that if
Prove
you
it.
haven't responded in the negative, I think they consider that you've
Silence is
responded in the
acceptance.
positive.
I don't think
I
the
have
court of law
5.
would see it that way.
I have 5 building permits, 4 building permits in there with a pending review. They've been there for about a month. Okay, and because the plot plans are wrong, or it's a gray area and some zoning, and that's being looked at by both parties. In most cases, you won't see something that'll last that long, but I have heard in the grapevine that there are some towns, because of lack of people,
Yeah,
okay,
there's another thing, yeah.
and that's where the problem's coming. There's a lot of towns that can't find inspectors.
There's a lot of towns that don't have inspectors either. I mean, Bristol's an inspector.
There are towns that don't have them, okay, and they follow the state, and whatever comes out, that's the way it is. The southern part of New Hampshire is more adapted to it compared to the mid and the northern, okay?
As I say, what you described earlier was you have building permits you're in the process of reviewing, and you've already had conversations. You've already started the work. The clock at that point stops. We've already
Correct.
responded.
The clock
And we're
stopped.
advising.
The clock is stopped.
It's gonna be about, we gotta make sure we respond and say,
That's-
we're in
that's the key.
review, and we expect, I
I
don't
think
know.
that's what's happening
Seems
out
crazy.
there, the
But
response
these
time.
people can
longer.
hire their own inspector.
Right, so they're on
And
their own
that would have to
payroll.
take the
That's-
town off legally. If they hire their own inspector
I know, so it's a private individual, I mean,
with no
my
ties to the
concern
town.
is the committee recommends, the committee that submits this to the Senate, and the Senate is having a hearing on, the 13th. But the committee has recommended ought to pass.
For 5 days, you're on vacation for a week, you're not gonna have time to.
And I wonder if a part of this is because there is so many municipalities having a struggle finding building
There's a lot of
inspectors.
vacancies out there right now.
Yeah.
Want a housing
and
boom to happen,
It's
too.
stopping construction,
They want housing, and they can't get it done, probably.
Yeah.
but with I don't know, with private individuals, I just don't think the municipality has the same oversight as it does with its own.
You're
All
right.
depends how this is written in other ways. This is not the whole thing, correct? Is this the whole proposal?
That's it. It's a very short bill.
I think they've opened themselves up for lawsuits up the wazoo.
I think so. I mean, the NHMA is asking municipalities to reach out and to their local senators and oppose it. To try to get the Senate to.
Okay.
But if the committee's already given it a not to pass, I don't know.
The committee who looked at this has said they don't recommend it. That's the Senate
No,
committee, correct?
No, they recommended it.
They recommended it?
Vote of 5-0.
Yep, not to pass.
Yeah,
That's the only
I could get a part-time. No,
I'm telling you, this is
But then
Pandora's
you
box right here.
I mean, I hate to say it, but you open yourself up for, well, you get what you pay for, right? And you pay for a private inspector and.
You could become a company's fall guy.
Well,
So I think it's a dangerous bill, and so all of us town administrators received notice of it today. And then the January report from the trustee of trust funds is below. Everything looks great there. And the last thing I had was the town academy.
How's the sign-ups going?
Awful.
Okay.
We've had 2 people sign up,
And we need 12 to start.
12 minimum to even, start. The first night would be, administration, so the board, and I will put together some type of presentation on town government, how the boards work, who's what. That would be the first night on the 25th, and then, March 4th would be the police department. I mean, all the departments have signed up. I believe rec is gonna talk about it tomorrow night, but we only have one open night, so I was really hoping March 18th, rec and COMCOM could kinda go together, because I think they're a great one to go together. And that's really the only opening that we have. So I'm proud of the town departments who stepped up and said, yep, count us in, we're gonna do this.
we got no
I
from the
just hope
outside.
we can get the residents that want to participate.
Well, I've seen it get posted a couple different times, and it's been shared, so
Yeah.
it's
Are
going
you gonna
places.
record them, so people can watch them later if they want? You have to have an attendance.
Well,
Worth
I
the
mean,
effort.
so you can do, we'll do whatever you want us to do.
Who's gonna pay for that?
Oh, IT's got lots of money.
Deliberative alone cost the LCTV almost $1,200 just to record that meeting.
For each meeting?
No,
Both
for
meetings.
deliberative,
For deliberative.
Oh, yeah, that, yeah.
And, I mean, the idea of the town academy was to get people in the seat
Right.
and get to meet their town officials and their employees,
Yeah.
and build relationships. Videotaping it's not gonna be the answer to that.
Right, if you videotape it, then you're probably not gonna get any participation the following, if you do a following session.
Well, look at the school board meeting the other night, there was a large crowd there.
What, deliberative?
Yeah.
It
No,
was 12.
my point.
We'll give it 25, but 12 were people that weren't connected to everybody else.
I agree with you. I know where the other numbers came from.
So
keep it
please,
alive.
like, talk to your friends and neighbors and, pass along that, you know, the town departments are here to tell you all about what they do and answer your questions, and we slot it for an hour and a half, might not be an hour and a half, might be an hour, you know? But it's open questions, so if you wanna ask questions of your department heads, this is your opportunity.
And when's the time, like, what time?
6:30,
6:30 PM?
yeah. So, you know, once a week,
Yep.
8 weeks, and then at the end, we've said Litchfield Fire will go, we'll meet over there, we'll have cake, we'll give them certificates of completion.
Need a dunking machine.
Take a shot.
Did you say Dunkin'?
Dunking machine.
Yeah.
They can get it.
Pro ball. Town administrator gets dunked in the water.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry.
Sure.
We all can take,
That'll get people
inappropriate.
here.
we can
I'll
all take
do it.
turns.
We
all
want them
can
out
take
there,
turns.
right?
That'll get people,
You may have just,
that'll get people to
I'm
sign up,
sorry.
sure.
Well, we got some towels.
you may have just put your foot in it.
And that's all I have.
That's, shit.
But there is a link to the form to fill out that we've put on the website, we've put it on Facebook, we've put it,
I just
Everywhere.
pushed it out again. So.
And I wa-
Okay.
I wasn't saying dunk for department heads, I was figuring.
Sounds like that's what you were saying.
No,
That's what I heard.
no.
I know.
Rewind.
But I'm not a department head.
Oh, I said elected officials too.
I didn't see that. All right, up next, we have selectmen reports. Planning Board, Mr. Gannon.
Next meeting is on the 18th. Last one was, canceled because there was nothing to review.
Okay, and
I don't know when
Heritage?
the next Heritage is. I'm looking at the calendar. There's nothing scheduled just yet.
It's there. It's in March, I
Sixth?
think.
Okay.
March.
No, February. There's one. I think that the week of the 25th.
Looks like it's September 22nd, you got here in 2005. Could be wrong.
Well, that's future, that's different.
Okay,
Oh, wait a minute,
That's
you should have been
attendance.
planning board. I said rec for you, didn't
No, you said planning,
I? Okay,
planning and Heritage.
okay. so
he's
Heritage is
planning.
February
I'm rec.
20th.
Yep, rec
We're meeting
department.
tomorrow.
February 20th.
Mr. Lynch, rec department, you're up.
Reading tomorrow.
You meet tomorrow.
Did you find it?
Good report.
It's shown on the calendar, but yeah.
Yeah, it's on the calendar.
I know.
Capital improvement, economic development, NRPC,
That's it. Oh, and this new, whatever that is.
the FOA.
I have to say, in 7+ years, I only had one meeting that week, and that was deliberative. It
Yeah.
was a light week.
Yeah.
All right, let me go on
Did
to
you know what to
order.
do with yourself?
I had plenty of rest, it was nice. All right, let's see. February 19th is NRPC full commissioner meeting. Economic Development meets February 26th, 6:30 to 8:30 here. ZIP, I do not see on the calendar, but I know you had it in Google, so I just have to get that verified
Yeah, I
there.
sent it out to the whole,
It's either March or
On-
April, so
on
it's
that-
not coming up, so
Actually,
I can
can we-
report it back next.
You raised a good thing.
I did put it on,
We've moved away from the Google Calendar in general.
okay.
So
I put it on the town,
If
but I
it's on-
did
if
put
it-
it on the Google too.
if it's on the town calendar, that's how scheduling's been going on for
Okay.
LCTV. The only thing that Google Calendar is unlock the door, but I just run a different program to do that now. So
Perfect. So I can stop the Google,
you can, because it's not been very consistent anyway. So
okay.
it makes sense just to stop it.
So March, it's March.
Yeah,
Kim.
so I can report that next meeting. Mm-hmm. That's all I have.
That's it
That
for
was it, there's
everything?
no meetings.
Holy manoli.
I love it.
All right, Mr.
February, nothing
Brunel, how about some Energy Committee and Emergency Management?
So, Energy hasn't met, Emergency hasn't met, Conservation, their meeting was postponed last week, it's this Thursday. I do have personal conflicts, I will not be attending, I did notify the chair, but if there's anybody on the board who'd like to attend, feel free. I can always give them a heads up you're coming.
That's surprising.
What's that?
Conservation.
Yeah, they, like I said, they postponed. So the only updates I got was, they had opened up that, position for the intern. They did receive 4, resumes. They are gonna be discussing it at the next meeting, so you'll hear more about that then. And then, last plug for, winter fishing derby, for ice fishing, which is, February 22nd on Saturday at Dara Pond. I think conditions are still pretty good for that. And jokingly, someone sent me no lawn mowing is currently happening. I don't know why he told me that. It's winter. So, that's all I got. I'm like the anchor. I'll read whatever's on the paper.
All right, budget committee, well, we had deliberative on Saturday, for the schools, so we're off now for a little bit. Or it's off now until after the election, and new elected people will be going there. And then, facilities meeting, I believe they meet Wednesday.
They meet Thursday.
Is it Thursday?
This Thursday.
Okay, it's
No,
Thursday.
hang on a second, not this Thursday. Yes, this Thursday at 5:30.
Okay, and I think they're getting ready to submit their recommendations to the school board, for the, what to do with, Griffin.
Yep.
But I do wanna mention something that, when we had the town deliberative 2 weeks ago, and we had, the budget committee had the vote afterwards, on the police station. The school board rep, mentioned that on behalf of his board, he was voting no on the police station. And so I reached out to him later to ask him what that was about, and he said that they had had an informal discussion during their meeting, and they discussed the fact that if the police department passed, that the school would not get anything through. And I found that disturbing, because we sat here last year and discussed whether or not we wanted to get involved in the school, and we decided to stay in our
It's on there
lanes.
now. I fixed it.
We decided it was best thing for us not to take an opinion on that. So, I was a little put off by that, and I don't know how going forward, I mean, the town needs the school people to help us get our thing through, and they're gonna need the town to get their people through, and if they're gonna take that position in a meeting, then I don't know how the town looks to support them in the future, because that was the wrong thing to do. I'm sure I'll hear something about this commentary Wednesday, Thursday, but at the next facilities meeting, because there's 2 school board members on it, but.
We've always in the inverse not done something to allow the school to go forward. We've held back contracts, union contracts, we've held off building projects,
Station.
yeah.
But
The police station was held off because of the school.
it was intentionally held back so that they could bring forth what they were gonna do. So I found that disturbing, I think it was wrong. And I also think that if you go back over the history of the projects in this town, it's always gone town, school, town, school. You know, it started with this in the late 90s, then Campbell came on, then the town got the fire station, and then the LMS project. So, you know, it's the town's turn, really, if you think about it. We've always kind of alternated so that we weren't piling things on, you know, and one group running away and the other one getting neglected, but again, I think it was the absolute wrong thing for them to do, to have that discussion and they didn't recommend that he vote, well, actually, they kind of did recommend that he vote that way, but, because he did say on behalf of my board, so.
He kept it politically correct.
Yeah, I think that going forward, I will have to, maybe it's the right thing to do. Maybe we look out for the town, you know? Maybe we don't, I don't know.
That only hurts the residents.
It
because
hurts everybody,
we're
yeah.
Not effectively planning
Yeah.
together. And I know Andrew, as the chair currently, wants to work with the town and do the right thing together. And as much as we can do together, Trey, but, you know, our finances are separated. We really can't join projects and those kind of things.
Well, he said that personally he was in favor of it, but he was
Yeah, he
voting on
has,
behalf of his
many
board.
times.
So I mean, but I think for the board to have that discussion in a public meeting and to come up with that, I think it was wrong.
Yeah, directly influences us.
Yeah, doesn't it? Yeah, and it influences a lot of people in the town, because you see it, where people are on, anti-social media saying, we're not gonna vote for anything until the school gets built, or we're not gonna do this until, and it's wrong,
Do you
and it
get-
feeds fuel into that fire.
Do you get a sense at the FIC that there is a plan to move forward that's gonna be acceptable by the voters?
I haven't seen any.
I think it depends on what plan comes forward. And I still don't know which way they're gonna go. If it's a new school, no, I think it gets shot down in flames again.
And also,
And
the-
especially with two
the in-
reports that say that Griffin is fine. It's in fair condition, needs work, yes, but,
Not in poor condition.
it's
It's
the
not-
indecisiveness that I think hurt him last time.
Yeah.
And I don't think, and this is my personal opinion, that if they come back and say, oh yeah, we could do something with Griffin, I think the town people are gonna be like, hold on, you told us before, you could not, and you had to move. So
Yeah.
now all of a sudden is Griffin acceptable?
The report said it has some maintenance, but.
Yep.
Fix it.
Well, there's two aspects of that. There's the building itself, and then there is sort of the educational pieces of that building. Is it
Yep.
actually a building with the right footprint to house what they need from an education perspective? We clearly know it's not laid out correctly. And I've always, I have had an opinion that you tear the walls down inside and reconstruct the interior, but what's gonna happen though is no matter what they do, if they choose to rehab that building, there is going to be an educational impact for the next 4 years. Yes, kids are gonna have to get moved out of that school and moved into another school for a period of time. That's gonna be an educational impact. So that's what I think, that's where I think that the town is divided by, is all of our kids have been impacted by COVID. They're all struggling to catch back up because of that. And now we're gonna do a project that is going to do something and do the same thing to the oncoming kids again, right? And it all depends on how they do it, right? I mean, at the end of the day, they gotta rehab CHS to put these kids into CHS potentially, or jigger it. There's conversations about maybe having to add on to CHS to do the right thing, because you can't really share some of the common areas and stuff with younger kids, so you bring the LMS kids up to up to CHS, and who knows, right? It's up to the school board to decide, but let's be honest, if they rehab that building, there is an educational impact.
The only way there would not be an impact to the students is if they built brand new.
Right.
Or double sessions. We did that in our town, somewhere
So we
earlier,
did
somewhere
it at
later.
Elburn.
I've seen that bit,
We
yep.
did it at Elburn.
We did it in Elburn.
But I mean, the two big things in that building are the HVAC and the roof.
Yeah.
And those both can be done with minimal impact. You can do them in the summer.
I agree.
But it doesn't address the educational issues.
No, but I think you fix the building first, then you address the educational spaces. Because I'm not totally opposed to possibly doing an addition on Griffin down the road and getting rid of the portables.
Well, that's the goal, right? Get rid of the portable.
Well, that's one of the items that's been talked
It's not
about.
hard to do, because that ball field's not being used, you got all kinds of space there.
No, they won't do that. They'll put them where the portables are.
I understand that, but you got a leach field back there,
Yep.
so you can put the moves things around.
But they'll come up with recommendations for the board, and then see where the board goes with it. And that's it.
We can
That's all we got.
open up the old school, they can go up and down the stairs. No, I won't say that.
Well, I mean, the 1930s building should become the SAU's office anyway, so, in my,
Oh, that was the 7th and 8th grade and 6th grade in the cafeteria.
Cafeteria, nurse's office, principal's office,
You got it, everything was up there.
and that's back in the day when you had to take a tray to your desk and eat at your desk.
You
that's
got it.
first grade, 3 floors. Climb up the stairs, go back down the stairs, climb up the stairs, go back down the stairs.
Today you gotta have an elevator.
So,
Or a
All right.
long ramp.
before we go into non-public, is there anything anybody else wants to discuss?
I would just like to say I thank you all. I'm just gonna say that.
We got 2
again.
more meetings there.
Yeah, you're not
Yeah,
done
yeah,
yet.
you're not done yet.
I'll wait till the next meeting.
In the next one.
I know.
2.
I know.
Then we'll call the.
And you have to be there
undertaker.
for the town election too.
I remember that. I gotta stand up front and say bye
That's your last official duty. All right,
with a smile.
so that will conclude our public portion of this program. We have items in non-public under RSA 91-A semicolon 3 comma 2A in parentheses, the dismissal, promotion, or compensation of any public employee or the disciplining of such employee or the investigation of any charges against him or her unless the employee affected, one, has a right to a public meeting, and two, requests that the meeting be open, in which case the request shall be granted. In RSA 91-A semicolon 3 comma 2C in parentheses, matters which, if discussed in public, would likely affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of this board, unless such person requests an open meeting. This exemption shall extend to include any application for assistance or tax abatement or waiver of a fee, fine, or other levy if based on inability to pay or poverty of the applicant. We have a motion to go into non-public.
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Brunel. Do we have a second?
Second?
Second by Ms. Queenan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 500. We are now going into non-public at 8:30. Everyone at home, stay safe, be well, be healthy, get ready for more snow.
Is it gonna snow again?
Yep.